Hello everyone, today is 13th of October. My name is Sahil and welcome to the newspaper analysis. Now guys, first of all, let's have a look on today's GS folder. So today we will take a quote from the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the chairman of the drafting committee of the constitution as well as the conscience keeper of the Indian constitution. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar had said that a great man is different from an eminent one in that he is ready to be the servant of the society. Now guys, a great man's greatness lies in his humbleness. A great man doesn't want to portray his eminence, rather, he wants to portray his nature of service towards the society. And guys, as the civil servants, your foundational value needs to be the spirit of service. Now, guys, in our GS paper number 4, the topic of aptitude and foundational value of the civil services has been given. So, guys, there we can utilize this particular quote if some of those question comes. So guys, that is for today's GS folder, and now let's take the newspaper analysis. Now guys, first of all, let's take the overview of the entire newspaper first. Guys, you can download the PDF notes of the newspaper discussion from our Telegram channel. The link has been provided into the description. Moreover, the daily infographics that we use into the video, that can also be downloaded into the PDF format from our Telegram channel. Now guys, this particular article talks about the mini fiscal stimulus that government has announced recently. Now guys, along with this particular article, I will also take one article from the Live Mint, as there some very much good value additions have been done. After that guys, moving forward guys, here we can see that 34 producers and various cine industry bodies have filed an PIL against the TV channels who are spreading the toxic content. So guys, this is a kind of a much needed thing to bring the responsible media and responsible journalism. Moreover guys, I will give you one more case study also. Guys, Parle G had said that they will not be advertising onto the channels which spread the toxic content. Now guys, these toxic contents are being made just to attract more advertising revenue, and if advertisers directly will take certain steps, then guys, obviously it is a very good thing. So into the case study section you can give the reference of to the Parle G. That is a very good thing. However guys, moving forward now, as we go beyond this particular thing, then guys, into the regional section, much of the news with respect to the regional issues, advertisements have been there, is reaching directly to the editorial page. Now this particular editorial talks about that now guys, the BJP is having all the cabinets in all the cabinet ministers are from the BJP, and this particular trend might not be good. Though guys, BJP is also having the majority and the biggest majority since in last 24 since 1984, but guys, still the diversity is to be respected. However guys, much meaningful content has not been there. Then guys, this issue talks about the federalism into the present times. Guys, very good trends have been seen. We'll see that thing. Now guys, this particular article talks about the Nobel Prize into the chemistry, and it is talking more about a conspiracy theory that why the Sixnis was not included into the Nobel Prize for the CRISPR, because he also made some meaningful contributions into that. So guys, such conspiracy theories are not needed for our UPSC exam. Then guys, this particular article talks about the French Open. Fine. Then guys, this particular article talks about the purpose of protest. Some very good references have been given, and alternative antithesis of democracy we can see here. After that guys, the tyranny of TRP, it is also a good article. We'll be seeing this thing. Then guys, moving forward, so as we move forward guys, we can see that here it has been provided that there are no penal provisions to protect the transgenders, and in this particular direction the appeal has been made to the Supreme Court. After that guys, the showcase page, not important for our exam. Then guys, here we can see that the economic Nobel Prize has been given, so we'll see that what it is all about. Guys, here we can see that the Sri Lanka is now in talk to secure more 500 million loan from the China. Now guys, if you have not seen already, we had seen that how China is playing the debt diplomacy into the Sri Lanka, and Sri Lanka is not understanding this thing. Then guys, here we can see that the new report by the United Nations Office for the Disaster Risk Reduction has been given, so we'll see this report. After that guys, here you can see that the antimicrobe drug can fight the coronavirus. So guys, whether antibiotics can kill it or not, this is some very evolving kind of thing. Guys, you don't need to pay attention to all these kind of developments, as hundreds and thousands of such developments are going on. Only when something concrete will come, we need to see. After that, guys, onto the business page. Here we can see that cash for LTC is a blow to tourism. So into the first article, I will include that why LTC might be curtailing the tourism sector. Then, guys, here we can see that the Delhi and Mali has inked a connectivity project. We'll see the strategics of this particular connectivity project. Then, guys, the IPL related news not needed for our exam. So that's all about the today's newspaper overview. And now let's take the newspaper analysis in detail. Now, guys, taking up the first news. So, this particular news pertains to the mini fiscal stimulus that has been announced by the finance ministry yesterday. Now, guys, before going first of all into the details of this particular thing, I will tell you the background. Now, guys, what happened? Just a few days back, the Monetary Policy Committee was constituted, and Monetary Policy Committee made certain estimates. According to it, it was said that this particular year there will be 9.5% contraction into the GDP. It means our GDP will go 9.5% negative. Moreover, guys, at that point of time, it was expected that okay, if the GDP is not doing well, then guys, more money needs to be pumped into the economy. Basically, it was expected that the Reserve Bank of India will reduce the benchmark repo rate, or the rate at which the banks borrow money from the RBI. But Reserve Bank of India had one apprehension that anyhow the inflation is very high, and if we will further reduce the repo rate, then guys, inflation will increase even more further. So Reserve Bank of India did not reduce the repo rate, rather the repo rate stayed unchanged. But guys, there Reserve Bank of India said that we are working on some other alternative strategy by which the economic growth can be brought. And guys, in that line only, now the finance ministry had announced a new reform. Now this particular reform is called as the mini stimulus, under which 73,000 worth crore rupees of money will be pumped in order to increase the aggregate demand. Now, guys, aggregate demand increase is the short strategy to bring the growth back on track, because that when the demand will increase, obviously it will send a positive signal to the suppliers, to the manufacturers, and for that particular thing, new people will be given employment, more raw material will be procured, production facilities will be enhanced, and in this particular way the economy will come into the kind of a motion. Now, guys, it has been said that right now the festive seasons are coming. Now, guys, into the festive season, people spend more onto the various type of durable goods, on consumption things, etc. So it has been said that right now people need to give money so that they can raise their aggregate demand. So 73,000 crore rupees stimulus is there. Now, guys, we will break this stimulus, that what exactly is being done. Now, guys, here into the stimulus, first of all, LTC issue is there. Now, guys, LTC means the leave term concession. Now, friends, all the people who are working for the central government or working for the PSUs, they are given in every 4 year the paid trip to any destination within the India. Now, onto the basis of their pay grade scale, they can opt for the rail or for the airplane, and the travel cost or the flight fare will be reimbursed by the government. So this is the LTC. Now, guys, it has been said that the people who have not availed their LTC into the last 4 years, they are being given an option that whatsoever their airfare or train fare was to be, then that particular money they can take as a reimbursement if they agree that they will utilize that money for buying of any durable item. Okay, now, guys, what is this particular thing all about? I will explain you by a help of an example. Now, just think that Mr. A was planning a trip, and into that particular trip, he, his wife, and his two of the children were going on. And guys, just now assume that the cost of that particular trip was to be 20,000 rupees. Now, this 20,000 rupees he might have reimbursed from the government under the LTC. Now government has said that okay, you can take a cash entitlement of this 20,000 rupees if you promise that you will spend 3 times more than this money onto any consumer durable item. It means that 60,000 rupees you will pull up, 20,000 rupees will come from here. So 80,000 rupees worth of any durable item you have to take, which attracts at least 12% of GST, rate. It means that if he was planning to buy a refrigerator, a TV worth rupees 80,000 rupees, then he might get 20,000 rupees help from the government's LTC. So in this particular way, government will be pumping up the money. Now guys, this particular thing will act as an incentive for the people that they will go into more buying of the consumer durable items, or the people who had postponed their buying of consumer durable items, now they can plan by this particular LTC. However guys, there are certain criticisms also into this particular direction coming. It has been said that it will impact the tourism sector in return, because guys, the people who were basically were using LTC for the tourism, now they will opt for the consumer goods. And it has been said that the tourism has already been hit very much hard due to the pandemic of COVID-19. People had stopped their traveling, and now even what hope was there, that will also go very much down. Then guys, the second thing which is coming is that government has said that rupees 10,000 crore worth rupees sorry 10,000 per head interest free loan will be given to the employees, and they can pay back that money into the 10 installments. So guys, the people who were planning to buy some of the goods by this particular money, they can do this thing. So employees will get the 10,000 rupees loan. Then guys, the third is that rupees 12,000 crore interest free loan will be given to the state government, and these will be very long duration loans up to the duration of 50 years. So by this particular money, state government can spend that money for any kind of activity. And guys, further lastly, it has been said that the center government will be spending 25,000 crore rupees onto the capital expenditure. Capital expenditure is one which creates certain assets. So for capital expenditure, this particular money will also be spent. So guys, in total, it is 73,000 crore rupees fiscal stimulus, mini fiscal stimulus package, which is expected that it will tap in the festive season which is now approaching. So guys, that's all within GS paper number 3. Basically the government measures to spur growth, there you can utilize this particular thing. And now we'll move to the next article. Now guys, this particular article talks about the federalism into the present times. Fine. Now guys, it has been said that right now India is seeing a kind of a time where federalism is not being given much utility. Guys, we can take certain examples where we can see that the federalism is not being respected. For example, guys, a GST issue is one. It was said when the GST was being implemented that there will be the compensation to the state to the tune of their last earned revenue. That is in 2015-16 what revenue they earned. On to that particular level, they will be given the money plus 14% increment will also be given. But now guys, see, government is saying that there is the act of God, and by the act of God, the GST money will not be able to be retrieved. And guys, therefore they are saying that the state government can borrow money onto their own. So it is not a federal behavior, rather it is an arm twisting behavior, where the center government, when it needed, it got past the GST, and now it is putting the entire onus onto the state government into the times of pandemic. After that guys, there is the issue of the GST compensation cess. Fine. Now GST compensation cess guys, it was an additional cess which was to be imposed on certain items such as the sin goods, cold drinks, tobacco products, luxury cars, etc. And the purpose was such that the money of the GST compensation cess, whatever will be raised, will be distributed to the state government. Now guys, just a few days back, we have also seen that the Controller Auditor General of India, CAG, had released its report, and there it has said that the GST compensation cess has been retained into the Consolidated Fund of India, which was something undesired. Fine. And moreover guys, not only the GST compensation cess, but various cesses have been retained. Guys, that was a particular issue where the center is abusing its dominant power. Then guys, what has happened? As the pandemic started, state governments needed money. Government allowed that okay, state government can borrow more money, but that particular thing was made conditional. How it was made conditional? Guys, it has been said that if you will promote the ease of doing business into the state, and will take steps to promote the one nation one ration card scheme. You can avail the money. Now guys, this approach has been called as the one size fit all approach. Different state governments, they have different problem, their different conditions are there. So guys, if even if you are putting the conditionality, you need to see every state's capacity, every state's priorities into this particular time. Moreover, right now as the pandemic are there, it is not ethical to impose a conditionality right now. No string attached borrowing clauses were to be given. Moreover, always government, it has been said, that is fascinated by the ease of doing business, and it is a kind of a dogmatic approach, because guys, it has been many times asserted that this ease of doing business, it is nothing but a license to the industrialist, that they can throw the ecology into the dustbin, just they can abuse the right of the tribal and all these kind of thing. So guys, there are the environmental harms, there are the ecological harms, there are the social harms in purporting these ease of doing business. Moreover guys, if you are following our newspaper regularly, we had taken one article also where it was said that the ease of doing business report is being now reconsidered. It might be stopped also, because there were large allegations of corruption which has taken place. So in that particular parameter, still fascination with ease of doing business is not good, and conditionality is also not good. Moreover guys, we can see that the presently agricultural reforms were pushed forward. Now into this agricultural reform, there are certain problems. Fine guys, now even if we don't look into the problem, the manner in which these agricultural bills were brought, that manner calls for much scrutiny. Now guys, we had already taken this particular discussion also, but I will explain again if you have forgotten it. Guys, agriculture is a subject under the state list. It has been given at the four places. Fine. However, agriculture has been basically not directly agriculture, but within the entry number 33 of the concurrent list, it has been said that government can regulate the production of certain commodities, and their agriculture's commodity has also been mentioned. Now guys, you know that by the virtue of concurrent list, the power has been given that the both center and the state can make the law on it. Now guys, what the center government has done, center government has used the entry number 33, as well as they have utilized the article number 301 of the Indian constitution, that calls for the free trade, commerce and intercourse within the territory. So guys, by utilizing these two provisions, they pushed forward with the agricultural bill. But guys, it has been said, see, it has been said that simply if you have a power, or if you have a way to do something, you are not ethical if you are actually using it. Is it clear? Now guys, I would like to tell you one quote once a time given by the German philosopher Immanuel Kant. Immanuel Kant said that in law, you are wrong when you break the law. Fine. Whereas in ethics, you are wrong even if you think something wrong. Now, on to the face, central government has not done something illegal because the provisions were there. But guys, going into the venture of the state, going into that subject where state has always had the power, that particular thing is a kind of an unethical behavior. Moreover, not even once the states have been given an assurance, or the provision has explicitly been put that the MSP will not be discontinued, regulatory mechanism will be made such that the private players will not abuse their position. No such thing has been done. So guys, on to the federal front, there are a large number of problems which are going on. Now guys, a question is being asked that whether federalism is anyhow existing in India. Always we are talking that this thing will promote federalism, this thing will demote federalism, but what is the status of federalism in India? Number one guys, within the constitution, no considerable mention of the federalism has been there. Federalism as a word is implicit into the constitution. Only into the one article federalism has been mentioned, but that too into the context of the judiciary. Even when we talk about the description of India, that is Bharat, there also the expression is union is used, federalism is not used. But guys, the federalism has been shaped by the government of the present day. Now, we can see this particular thing. Guys, number one, when the Constitution of India began its journey, we got new independence. At that point of time, we got the Congress system. Congress system is a term given by the Rajni Kothari. Congress system means that dominant power was with the Congress at both the center level as well as the state level. And guys, even into that particular time, Congress was a kind of a very resurgent entity. There were the factions, there were some disputes, there were some arguments, and contrary positions were held often by the leaders, but those things were resolved and the federal spirit were kept alive. That was good kind of thing. Fine. However, guys, as the time passed, different groups, they started to splinter from the Congress. Some interest groups for the agriculture, they splintered. Some interest groups for the industry, they splintered. Some groups for political, some other kind of issues, they got splintered. And guys, by the time we reached 1967, this Congress system was going down and the era of episodic waves come. Now guys, many a times such movement, some governments were there which had some inclination towards the Congress, some disinclination towards the Congress. And guys, more important than that, guys, what happened after 1970 and 1980 onwards, during the period of 1970 1980, so much of regional political parties were mushroomed that after 1988 1989, regionally shaped politics was coming to the fore. The regional issues, they were pushed towards the by the regional political parties. The national government or the national political conscience was being shaped. And now guys, we have reached to the present time, which had started from 2014. Now guys, the full circle has been made. In 1950s, the Congress has a dominant role because the most number of seats are there with the Congress. Now guys, that particular position is being enjoyed by the BJP in 2014. Now guys, what is happening? The kind of a Congress system which was there, now there is a kind of a BJP system which is going on. And guys, here our consolidation has again been achieved, and into this consolidation, federalism is being practiced in such a way that the Congress, the party, the states which are being ruled by the center government's representative, they are falling into the line, whereas the ones which are not into that particular thing, they are being called as the deviants. And even the opposition parties have taken their motto that whatsoever the central government will say, they have to oppose that particular kind of thing. However, guys, the deliberation as well as the consultation which used to be there into the Congress of 1950s, that has not been there right now. However, guys, too much of political inclinations which are there into the article, I have avoided them, and we need not to go into that particular thing. But how the federalism is being evolved into the present time, for that particular thing, this article is a good issue. Now that's all about this particular article. Now we'll move to the next article. Now guys, this particular article is talking about the recent issue of the TRP, and within GS paper number 2 as well as GS paper number 3, we can utilize this particular topic. In GS paper number 2, regulatory regime has been talked, where we can utilize it. Now already, if you remember, we have discussed one article onto the TRP. Now guys, this particular article says that in India, our regulation system has been very weak. Nobody wants to get regulated. Judges don't want to get regulated. In this particular thing, we can see that the government tried to brought the National Judicial Appointment Commission, whose task was to select the judiciary, but that particular thing was declared unconstitutional by the judiciary itself. Then guys, the media doesn't want to get regulated, and we had seen that there are so many of the self-regulated bodies, but a kind of an enabling legislation onto that is not there. And whenever we talk that media will be regulated, they gave the article number 19's pretext, fine, which is valid also, but guys, irresponsible journalism anyhow has to be curtailed. And guys, even into the energy sector, what happens, the regulators are the old retired bureaucrats who are often reluctant to take any meaningful regularization of the discoms or any energy producing entity. So the regularization has been very weak. Now into this particular time, this particular article, the media channels are the center of concern. Now guys, just we had seen that the TRP scandal was there, in which the Republic TV and various news channels were dragged. Guys, it has been said that the TV penetration in India is very huge. It has been said that 87% of urban India, they are having the TV. Every day, more than 550 million people tune to the TV, and for approximately 3.45 hours, they are watching the TV. So guys, the influence that TV is spreading in everyday life is huge. Guys, we if you know, if you have read the GS paper number 4 attitude portion, then guys, the attitude is made up of three components, that is the cognitive, affective and behavioral. Behavioral part is the visible part, but it is manifested by cognitive as well as affective. Cognitive means what you know, affective means how you feel. Is it clear? So what you know about an attitude object, how you feel about an attitude object will ultimately define your attitude. Now what happens? So all the time you are seeing the tvs are conditioning your knowledge aspect. They are giving you knowledge, they are questioning your knowledge. Moreover, the basically portrayal onto the televisions, that artistic portrayal also trying to evoke certain emotional response into you, and at the end of the day, what tv wants, that particular kind of attitude is formed by you. Guys, this is some additional attachment, you can utilize it into your GS paper number 4. However, anyhow, moving, so such influence is there onto the TV, but till now the TV is not properly regulated. Now, guys, we had seen that the television broadcast, the television shows, they are made keeping the TRP into mind. Why TRP is so important? Because onto the basis of TRP, the advertising revenue comes. And guys, if TRP is manipulated, what will happen? Advertisements will be going to particular shows which were not that much even liked, but this particular thing will happen, and that will not be ethical given the norms of the fair treatment. Now guys, what has happened into the present TRP crisis, how TRP has been rigged? It has been said that TRP rigging is not going today, it is going since so many years. India even till today is having very ancient kind of technologies to record the TRP. What we have done, guys, in India, 44,000 households have been selected. Into these 44,000 households, into their TV sets, barometers have been installed, and these barometers record that how much time an individual is seeing a TV. And guys, what an average these 44,000 households are seeing, onto that particular basis, the TRP of entire country is calculated. Fine. Now, guys, we can see that 550 million people are seeing TV every day, but their pattern is being recorded only just onto the basis of these 44,000 households. Guys, see this thing. There were earlier agencies which were involved into the recording of TRP, that is the TAM and INTAM. Is it clear? TAM stands for the television audience measurement, and INTAM stands for the Indian National Television Audience Measurement. Now the TRP measurement is done by the BARC, that is the Broadcasting Audience Research Council. And guys, this BARC is also relying on to these 44,000 households which are having these barometers. Now guys, 25,000 crore rupees advertising is decided onto the basis of this 44,000 households. It means one household is deciding 50 lakh rupees worth of advertising, and therefore even rigging one household has so much of the cost. So what television news channels, or basically these channels, are doing, they are systemically identifying the households which are having these TV sets installed, and they are being bribed to play a particular channel. Now guys, it has been said that we have reached to such an age where the connected technologies, internet, has penetrated every possible level. Guys, into the world of hyperconnectivity, we can synchronize these TRPs with the internet, and why only 44,000 households are being concerned? Rather, entire country's average should be used to define the TRP. Now guys, you just see what Netflix and YouTube are doing. Netflix and YouTube, they tell you that what basically they can tell that how many audience watched their channel, they have watched their app, who watched what content for what particular time they watched, and they can even tell that what probably you will be searching the next. Their algorithm is so much powerful. Now guys, in even India also, the DTH boxes have made such big penetration into the households. Moreover, these barometers can be connected or can be synchronized with the satellites, with the internet, in such a way that we can derive TRP onto the basis of entire country, and not only onto the basis of these 44,000 households. So guys, right now it has been said that digital barometers and set-top boxes should be used to take out the TRP, and regulatory reforms are needed to be brought by an adequate adequate legislation. But guys, as I had told you into the starting that in India nobody wants to get regulated, and because of this particular thing, the reforms might not come, but it is high time that actually they should be implemented because they are actually shaping the consciousness of the entire nation. So guys, this is this particular article, guys, very much important in GS paper number 2 as well as in GS paper number 4 also there could be implication. So that's it. Now we'll move to the next article. Now friends, this particular article is talking about the right to protest, and this article is important for our GS paper number 2 where the fundamental rights have been mentioned. Fine. Now friends, I will just tell you the context. What has happened just a few days back, the Supreme Court has given its judgment onto the Shaheen Bagh, and Supreme Court had said that the Shaheen Bagh protest that was going on, that was not required, not wanted, or basically the way of their conduct was not appreciable because they placed onto some important of the roads, and by that the public order was disturbed. There were the traffic congestions and people's right to mobility was restricted by this particular thing. Now, guys, it has been said by the Supreme Court that the mode and manner of dissent against colonial rule cannot be equated with dissent in a self ruled democracy. So, guys, it has been said that these measures of protest were good into the times of the colonial government, but into our democracy, these things are not appreciated. Now, the writer or the author of this particular article had said that this word self rule is in itself a trap. Fine, guys, it has been said that what does this self rule means? Whether the self rule means that actual rule of people, or does it means the rule of a new tyrant state? Earlier the state was the Britishers, now the new state has come, but still its ideology, its behavior is similar to that tyrant state. Or is it the rule of the majority of the people? Guys, obviously we can't see that the self rule which is being talked is by any terms the rule of the people or the minority. It is obviously the rule of the majority only. Now, guys, it has been said that the Gandhiji defined Swaraj into this particular way. They said that Swaraj is not the acquisition of authority or the acquisition of power. Rather, Swaraj will come by seeing that how successfully you are able to resist the power or you are able to resist the authority. And guys, when people are protesting, for example, into the Shaheen Bagh, they are just trying to resist the authority, and that protest was actually the Swaraj. Fine, so that particular thing has been said. Now, guys, it has been said that the protest, not only into the India but rather into the world, they are the speech acts. Fine, speech acts. They said that government can't decide that what speech they will make. Government can't decide that what manner, what mode they will be taking up. Obviously, guys, there are certain reasonable restrictions that are to be carried, but often into the name of these reasonable restrictions, into the name of maintaining public order, often what happened, they are overly regulated and the entire spirit of the protest is crushed. Guys, it has been said that dialogue and protest are different. Dialogue happens when the first party is accepting that the other party is onto the equal footing and they try to identify some common ground. But the protest are those expressions where you have seen that particular thing that the other party is not listening to you. Now, the Citizenship Amendment Act, when it comes, citizens came onto the protest. Why? Because government didn't open any avenue to have a dialogue. There was so much of inequality that protest was the only option. Moreover, guys, the citizens were not having any avenues to vent out, and the unjust laws were there into the question. For example, the Citizenship Amendment Act, and as these unjust laws are there, the by heat they have to be felt to the government. And guys, therefore holding the Shaheen Bagh or holding any strategic point is the part and parcel of the protest, because you will not be listening if any discomfort or if any inconvenience will be there. Guys, it has been said that moreover, if we see into this particular thing, then the Supreme Court has not appreciated one thing, that even the police was misused by the state. Police was not used to maintain, rather police was misused to teach the people a lesson. They basically didn't acted when the violence was going on, and such kind of allegations have been levied. Now, guys, it has been said that the Supreme Court, into the judgment, had talked about two things. On one hand, there was a right to mobility. On one hand, there was a right to protest. And the Supreme Court had said that the right to mobility was more important, and if it was being disturbed, the protest will not be allowed. But protest is also a fundamental right. Moreover, guys, the mobility was not only restricted because of the protest that was going on, but alternate passageways were blocked by the police personnel by the excuse of the security. Now, guys, it has been said that how that particular thing can only be seen as an act of security, that might could be a systemic kind of an attempt where knowingly the administration was fueling a kind of a dissatisfaction among the citizens, and so that citizens themselves turn against the protesters. So, guys, into the democracies, often it has been said that the state try to utilize its dominant power into against the protesters who are using some particular cause. So, guys, this particular thing is there. Now, guys, as we are talking about democracy, antithesis of democracy is also very important. You need to know all this spectrum into your mind so that you can write any meaningful answer into GS2 or as well as onto the essays. So that's all about this particular article. Now we'll move to the next article. Now, guys, this particular article is talking about the right of transgender people. Now, guys, what has happened? Just we had seen that now the transgender people, they have been given the status of the third gender. Moreover, guys, after the decriminalization of Section 377, what has happened? The gay people, they have also been recognized as their sexual orientations are not something taboo. They have been accepted, but there are no laws to safeguard them. Guys, we have the Vishaka guidelines which talk about the which provides the protection to the women at the workplaces, but such workplace protection to the transgender has not been given. There is no provision into the IPC to protect the sexual assault of the transgender. Even, guys, take the example of section 354 of IPC. It talks about that there will be the penalties if any person outrages the modesty of women. Why only women? Why not transgender, transsex people are there? So, guys, it has been said that as these transgender people have been recognized, there needs to be made enabling legislation into our IPC as well as other laws so that their protection can also be safeguarded. So, guys, just a very brief kind of concept has been given. But when we are talking about society, and in society as diverse elements are there, so their diversity also needs to be safeguarded. So, guys, just that's it. Now we'll move to the next article. Now, this particular article talks about the recently released report by the United Nations Office of the Disaster Risk Reduction. Now, guys, UNDRR, this is a reference you can utilize whenever you are writing any answer onto the disaster management. Now, they have released the Human Cost of Disaster 2000 to 2019 report. In this report, they had seen that into last 20 years, the human fatalities, the economic losses have just been doubled by the disaster, and these disasters majorly were caused by the climate change. It has been said that the 4.2 billion people were impacted in within these 20 years due to disaster, and $2.97 trillion of economic losses were there, and the disasters was the outcome of the climate change events, such as the extreme events are there, extreme heat stress, heat waves are coming there. So it has been said that we are now needed that actually some very urgent steps are needed to be taken to mitigate the climate change. But, guys, here the paradox, or basically the irony of the situation, is that the people who have contributed to biggest volumes into the pollution, for example the USA, they are pulling out from the Paris climate pledge. Now, guys, into the climate change, whenever we are talking, there is the phenomena of the CBDR, that is the common but differentiated responsibility. Common, it means every country has a responsibility to save the environment, but differentiated means that what country will be doing what, that is to be, or that is onto a different scale. Big countries need to do more, small countries they might do less. And, guys, into this particular thing, USA has so much of liability, but it is not doing their own part, and they have now even withdrawn from the Paris under the Donald Trump. So, guys, so much catastrophe, so much problems are there, and into this particular thing, countries need to come together, but by the spirit of the CBDR, big countries need to do more. So just that particular thing, guys, here you can use it as a reference. Now we'll move to the next article. Now, guys, this particular article talks about the economics Nobel Prize. First of all, guys, already when this Nobel Prize series started, I told you some facts with respect to the Nobel. Now, guys, economics Nobel Prize, already we had seen that originally it was not there. It has been reinstituted later, and the prize money for the economics Nobel Prize is not given by the Nobel Foundation. Rather, the money for this particular category is given by the Riksbank or the Central Bank of the Sweden. Fine. So the economics Nobel Prize has been given to the economist Paul Milgrom and Robert Wilson. Now these two economists, guys, why they have been given? Because they had developed the commercial auction theory of goods and services difficult to sell. Now what does this mean? Guys, radio spectrum, for example, radio spectrum is such a thing which you can't sell by the traditional means. Is it clear? So for selling them, there needs to be an auction procedure, and auction procedure needs to be such that it brings the kind of the equitable benefits to every section of the society involved. So how such kind of goods and services can be sold? They can be sold by the auction, and the way of auction has been perfected by these two economists. So for this particular thing, they have been given the Nobel Prize. So guys, that's all about this particular article. Now we'll move to the next article. Now, guys, this particular article pertains to GS paper number 2, and it pertains to the recent pact between the India and the Maldives with respect to the connectivity. Fine. Now, guys, I will tell you it from very scratch. Guys, Maldives happens to be the strategic backyard of India. Okay, strategic backyard of India, and therefore India has a very important, the Maldives play a very important role for India. Now, guys, India had said that India will be giving a help to Maldives to develop the Greater Malay Connectivity Project, that is the GMCP. Now, this Greater Malay Connectivity Project will be connecting the Malay with the nearby islands such as the Viligli, Thilafushi, and Gulhi Fahu. Fine. So these islands will be connected. By this particular thing, what will happen? The burden onto the Malay will be reduced. So many people, Malay, they are basically staying in Malay. The housing problem is there. Now, if the islands are connected, the connectivity will be such that the burden onto the Malay will be reduced. For this particular project, India had said that $500 million assistance India will be giving. Into this assistance, it has been said that the $400 million will be given as a line of credit. Line of credit means that it is a type of a loan, and $100 million will be given as a grant for this GMCP project. Is it clear? Because it will make the living of the people of the Maldives more easy and convenient. Now, for this particular thing only, the agreement has been signed. Now, guys, this is only the factual aspect. The strategic angle also will see why government is focusing on to this particular thing. Guys, it is because the China has to be countered. Now, what China has done here? China has already built a connectivity project into the Maldives, that is the Sinamale Friendship Bridge. And this Sinamale Friendship Bridge is connecting the Malay, Hulhule, and Hulhumale. Fine. By this particular thing, Chinese had already proved their clout. Now India wants to counter that particular clout. So this Sinhali Friendship Bridge is being countered by the GMCP project. Therefore, it is very important, and India wants to leave a positive imprint there. So, guys, so this is into this particular direction. I hope you have understood it all. And guys, as I had discussed yesterday, that to the Sri Lanka, China is giving the loan, and China basically is trying to strangulate India by building the infrastructure all around India. In Maldives also it had done, and India has to counter it by the GMCP project. So it is much more than just a kind of an economic cooperation. So that's all about this particular project, and now we'll move to the question section. Now, guys, please pause the video and try to answer the question. Question number 1 is with respect to the Feluda test, which was recently into the news. Please read the statement and identify the correct code. Now, guys, question number 2, please consider the statement with respect to the SIAA. Please read the statement and answer the correct option. Question number 3 is with respect to the blue flag certification. Please read the following pairs and identify the rightly matched option. Question number 4 is with respect to the Central Information Commission. Please read the statement and identify the incorrect option. So guys, that's all for today's newspaper analysis. I hope you have liked the video. Thank you so much.